Hi, it's Celeste Majors, your canary in the coal mine. Today I wanted to talk about one mineral and one vitamin that Americans are very chronically short of. The mineral is magnesium and the vitamin is vitamin D. Do you know that 96% of Americans have inadequate levels of vitamin D? That means that when they took a blood test it was like less than 30 nanograms per milligram or milliliter or whatever. Anyway, the number is 30, and most health professionals recommend that your vitamin D levels should be 50 to 80, so the cutoff of 30 is even low, and yet most Americans don't make that cutoff. Now, why is that? Well, we've gotten very sun adverse in recent years. People don't go out in the sun, and if they do go outside, they lather up in sunscreen. And on another video, I've talked about how dangerous some of the chemicals in sunscreen are. But the point is that it's the end of summer now for me, and I've been out in the sun all summer, and I've got a tan as a result. I tanned carefully and safely. I didn't, get burned at any time during the summer. But last year when I tanned all summer like I normally do, by the end of the summer, my vitamin D levels were 85. And I thought, that's great, because I'm heading into the winter, to the gloomy months here in the Midwest where there's almost no sun, with a nice high level. And then I took vitamin D capsules all winter, and by the end in the spring, when I checked my blood levels again, they were 97, I think it was, or something, which is probably higher than I wanted. So now I know this going into this next winter, I'm going to be using 5,000 IU of vitamin D instead of the 10,000. I think 10,000 was a little too much because it took my levels, which were already at 85, up even higher. So I'm going to just back off a little bit and do 5,000 this winter. But the point is that vitamin D is used in reactions all over the body. I mean, hundreds of reactions depend on having vitamin D present, otherwise the reaction doesn't work. And the same thing is true with magnesium. Not quite as many people are deficient in magnesium, but the numbers say that 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. And that's a mineral, and that is used in hundreds of reactions throughout the body. And basically these reactions won't go if all the raw materials that are needed for that particular reaction aren't present. It'd be like trying to build a brick house and having the bricks but not having the mortar, or not having the sand, or not having the concrete. You just can't make progress if some of your building materials are missing. And vitamin D and magnesium are two of the biggest ones that the vast majority of Americans are short on. So it doesn't hurt at all to take vitamin D and magnesium, because chances are, without you going and getting a blood test and spending your money on that, chances are you are deficient in those. If you've been staying out of the sun and you haven't been supplementing for the vitamin D, and magnesium you don't get from the sun, you just get it from eating the right food, which would be mostly plants. So if your diet has been mostly meats and chickens and baked goods and stuff, then you're probably low in magnesium. So that's what I wanted to tell you today, is you could go have your blood levels checked and find out where you stand, or you can just assume that unless you're doing something actively to increase those levels, you're probably in the group of people that are deficient. And you need those chemicals in order to be able to have all your body reactions work properly. So that was my tip for today, and I want you to get well and stay well. Thanks.